Yo, 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 what's up, Internet? Jonathan Masters. So, I'm getting ready for the debate. We got the debates coming up, right? This is the Kentucky debates. We're having, it's actually fantastic. It's insane. The options that we have for Kentucky. This is one of the biggest elections that Kentucky's had. And you're sitting there talking about Donald Trump and, you know, all these fucking Republicans. You ain't even paying attention to what's going on in Kentucky. Not only do we have the governor's and lieutenant governor's race, but we got the auditor, and we got the treasurer, and we got the attorney general. There, you know, the secretary of state. There's like 5 major executive positions that are up for grabs right now. 5 major executive position. So, you know, this is what Kentuckians who give a shit about the future of their state, right? But I don't know, most Kentuckians probably don't know shit about civics, shit about their history. They don't even know how to fucking read, right? 2 out of 5 Kentuckians can't even read. And of course that's love. If it, you know, I mean, fucking Mississippi, you know, like, I don't even fucking, you know, they're like such a shithole. It's just a fucking swamp. It's just where, you know, people go to Mississippi to die. There's nothing in fuck Mississippi. I don't even care about Mississippi. So yes, just because I'm critical of Kentucky doesn't mean I don't love Kentucky. Of course I love Kentucky. What do you mean? This is an organizer's dream. How can you not love Kentucky? So to sort of run down the gauntlet of all the candidates we have for governor, we're having a big debate. The first televised debate today. There should have been Lincoln Douglas debates all throughout the state, but we have Drew Curtis, who is the founder of Fark.com, which is a news aggregate website. Just, you know, basically takes a bunch of headlines, makes little witty, sarcastic remarks on, you know, all the things that are going on throughout Kentucky. So he's an entrepreneur. He started his own small business, and he's bragging about one of the few people that have survived the internet bubble collapse. So, which happened, I don't know, a couple years ago. But there's the dot-com bubble, right? The dot-com bubble burst. But he was able to persevere, and he was able to survive, and he was able to establish himself a business, and has been making money doing it. With the signatures, he was supposed to get 5,000 signatures, wound up getting like 8 to 10,000. He basically kicked that signature's ass. It opens the doors for independents everywhere. It makes, you know, it's 5,000 signatures, which is kind of bullshit. It's a high threshold for anybody that wants to run as an independent. But at least it's, you know, it's something. It's like a barrier to entry. So therefore, he's got some political, you know, I don't know, acumen. Because as an independent, he didn't have to run in the primaries, but they didn't have to get 5,000 signatures. So I think it makes everybody actually equal. So Matt Bevin and Jack Conway are coming from their victories in their respective primaries. They're the Republican and the Democrat. So Matt Bevin's the Republican and Jack Conway is the Democrat. The Democrats are in power right now. He is the Attorney General. So, you know, Jack... the Democrats should have been able to have done whatever they've wanted to do in the last 8 years, right? So really, the conservative choice right now is Jack Conway, because Jack Conway will keep Kentucky going the exact same direction as it's been going the entire time. Matt Bevin is the candidate of change. He's going to fucking change every fucking thing, and being the #1 corrupt state, I'm not sure if that's really that bad of a thing. He is like ultra conservative when it comes to like even fucking gay rights, so he's a bigot, and he probably even wants to, you know, stop blacks and whites from marrying too, right? Let's just go take it another step. So he hates gay people for some fucking reason, and I don't like, you know, he's in favor of the Patriot Act. I like that. And he seems to hint at the direction of medical marijuana, but he's talking about drug testing everybody for every fucking reason, you know, under the sun. So I don't know. Matt Bevin, I'm very disappointed with both of these candidates. Jack Conway, he is running from Obama. So some predictions of what we're going to see tonight. Tonight at the debate, we're going to see Matt Bevin's going to try to paint up Jack Conway as basically Obama in whiteface. So, which I think is kind of like reverse racism, right? So it's like, oh, he's basically Obama, just a white version of him. And that's going to make Conway run away from any sort of liberal issues. In fact, he attacked Rand Paul on his wanting to legalize, you know, in the drug war. So he said that Rand Paul was the liberal because he wanted to end the drug war. So therefore, Jack Conway was right in line with Richard Nixon's 1971 war on drugs. So, and plus he's a fucking hypocrite, so don't ever forget that. You know, when his brother was caught with some fucking drugs and shit, you know, there's slipped it right under the carpet. Will T. Scott had a son too, so, you know, whenever these politicians, you know, are caught with their pants down, right, and their dick in their hand, and then they're like, oh shit, you know, no, not my kid. I don't want my kid going through the car wash, going through the fucking slaughterhouse bullshit, so-called criminal justice system. So, that's, and then we got Blackie Effin White. And Blackie Effin White is the write-in candidate. And what a fucking awesome name, Blackie Effin White. What's your name? My name's Blackie Effin fucking White. I did write that if I was, it's basically a toss-up between Blackie Effin White and, Drew Curtis. I like the fact that Blackie White is there. I'm going to fucking promote Blackie White as much as possible. More or less for Drew Curtis, not for Blackie. Sorry, Blackie, I like you, and I don't fault anybody for voting for him because you would feel good about it. And I wrote that, you know, tra-la-la-la-la, I voted for Blackie Effin White, tra-la-la-la-la, and I would skip, and I would be very happy with that vote. Being that he's a write-in candidate, and I don't know, I like the selection of having 4. He's a write-in candidate, so his, you know, chances for actually winning something, but he could take votes away, and he also can bring more voters into the system. And his big thing, he's a Gatewood man. He's also a hippie musician. He's got like a lot of really good fucking progressive issues, to be honest with you. And personally, I do think that he would be a better governor. I don't know. I guess it'd be a toss-up between him and Drew if I wanted to vote for who I really thought would be the best governor. But because he's a write-in candidate and has generated very few, I just feel like his chances are very remote. But that doesn't really mean anything. If, you know, I'd rather vote for somebody who I believe in and get that than vote for somebody that I don't believe in and then get that. So, yeah, there's the 4 candidates. Blackie Effin White, Drew Curtis of Fart.com, independent candidate, and who's got a lovely, beautiful, homely wife, Heather Curtis. In fact, they're all family men except for Blackie White. They all have wives and children, and Matt Bevin's got the most kids, right? Never see Matt Bevin's wife anywhere. I don't know. I was, first time I Googled Jack Conway's wife, and I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed. Almost wanted to, I don't want to center it all around Heather Curtis, but frankly, I mean, she would be a great first lady. She is a regular, normal person. She is beautiful, but, you know, also, yeah, I don't know. Like, I would have kicked her ass in the debate. But, you know, they're actually having a debate here for the lieutenant governors, and she's not even invited, so what the fuck is that about? I hope she stands up and does something with that. But I like her better than, you know, just based on, based on, she looks like she's got personality. I've never actually even talked to her. But that's, you know, compared to sort of Jack Conway's wife, I don't know, it just wasn't, she's not as beautiful. Heather Curtis is young, perky. She had that little green dress, right? And so I think she represents the youth of Kentucky better than the other 2 wives. And she's also lieutenant governor, so it means that she'll get some official power. So that's the basically it's all about Heather Curtis, you know. Ultimately, it's all about the policies. Which person will become governor will give the best policies for Kentucky. It doesn't matter if they like you, don't like you, or whatever. If you called them and they, you know, snubbed you or some shit. If you're able to make Kentucky better, then that should be the candidate who wins. And so I think there's pros and cons for both Jack and Matt Bevin. And, you know, I like Drew Curtis better for numerous reasons. But between Matt Bevin and Jack Conway is better than Bevin because, you know, he would protect Obamacare. And that's not him being like Obama. That's just him being human and defending health and human rights. If people don't even want you to have health, well, I mean, you guarantee life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Health is life. If they ain't even protecting life, then they're not protecting, you know, liberty or the pursuit of happiness. Of course, you got to protect life. You want to talk about all these pro-lifers out here. Bernie Sanders makes a great fucking point. You know, you're only pro-birth. Once you get out here, you know, where's the health care? Where's the education? Where's the medical leave and the WIC? the Republicans just are cutting wick right now. So, especially Kentucky, we got 1 million poor people here. Number one for pollution, number one for corruption, number one for mental illness, animal abuse, child deaths, and child abuse cases. Number one poorest and fattest children. We have 41 jailers. So jailers who have no jails. Section 105 says that we need to consolidate those two, but we don't give a shit. And 1 million poor, and I don't think corporations, which would be more than your Republican, that's what they're pushing, and socialism, which would be the welfare, which is what the Democrats are. That tends to be the role of government, how the argument, breaks down. Republicans are for pulling yourself up by your bootstraps. Well, bringing a bunch of rich-ass corporations in here isn't going to help you pull yourself up by your bootstraps. It's going to give you a bunch of, having a lot of poor people is good for business, big business, rich, multinational corporations, because that's lots of poor labor. That's a lot of cheap labor that they can exploit. And so that's not good for the people. What would be good for the people is high-paying, quality jobs, and to be able to start their own businesses. So neither corporations nor socialism is going to save Kentucky. We need, we need to elevate. We need to think higher than what we've been thinking. This fucking political campaign has been embarrassing. It's been boring, and nobody's saying anything. Like, I don't know. 13% is who turned out the vote for the primaries. So what's going to be 40%? 40% is going to. So most of the Kentuckians don't even fucking give a fuck about their own state. They don't go out and vote. They don't say. They don't talk about any of these issues, and the fact that it's not just a governor's race, but lieutenant governor, then the auditor, and attorney general, and there's treasurer, and I know there's one or two that I'm missing now, but that's there's about 5 or 6 executive positions that we should be having one of these really close, intimate debates. If you're talking about fucking presidential election, well, that doesn't matter till May. You're talking about shit that don't even fucking matter. It's not going to matter. Even if it gets to Kentucky, usually our vote don't even matter because we're so far down the line. It's usually New Hampshire, Iowa, maybe Super Tuesday, but not Kentucky. Like, we're in May, so our vote don't even fucking matter. So we should care about our state. We should be caring about who's going to run our fucking state, regardless. Maybe we should think about who's going to be the president and which candidate would be better with what president. I almost feel like Obama did a good job. Kentucky fucked up and went backwards with their vote with the Obama. I see another Democrat coming into office, whether it's Hillary or Bernie, and if we have a Democrat, I don't know, it could be a projection, but if we have a Democrat, then I think having a Democrat or an independent would be better than having a sort of, a rapscallion, right, a fucking piss and moan fucking Republican. You had Bobby Jindal, who threw the fucking healthcare away. Matt Bevin's talking about throwing all the, just throwing old people. Matt Bevin death panels. Matt Bevin is advocating fucking death panels. Literally, he's going to kick you off the fucking scrolls, right? You have to be, if you get, you take a piss and you got some fucking pot, nope, no, you ain't going to get no benefit. You're going to go out into the fucking trash heap, and you're gonna fucking die out there. So literally, death panels. He's gonna kick a lot of people off the healthcare, and I don't know. The war on drugs is a big fucking sticking point with me. I'd like to be able to smoke up without actually having to, without feeling like a fucking outlaw. You have all these alcoholics, and they drink and drive, and they fucking get into bar fights and shit, and you want to sit there and fucking treat people who smoke up. I mean, it's like it cures cancer, glaucoma, and it helps with the effects of chemo and AIDS, and there's just so many medicinal properties. Just the hungry, happy, sleepy side effects. It limits anxiety. It helps for bulimic people to be able to eat, and it helps people to sleep. I mean, there's a million fucking benefits to marijuana, and the war on drugs is probably one of the biggest stick points, I think, with me. So I think it's about it for the introduction. There's we know who these people are. We know who Jack and Matt are. They're the fat cats are the ones taking the fucking money. I think Jack's been fucking kissing a lot of ass. They're fucking such politicians. Matt is less of a politician than Jack. Jack is so fucking plastic, man. He's fake. He's fake. And but that's what we vote for, is fucking fake. So I don't know if it's going to work. It hasn't been working. But essentially, Jack and Matt, when it comes to the King Cole, Mitch McConnell always said was just like, hey, I like Cole, and wound up fucking beating Allison Grimes, which is embarrassing. But the Jack and Matt Bevin are actually bigger whores than Kim Davis, who's had 4 marriages or so. They're married to dozens of coal company executives all at the same time, right? So they're basically just corporate Mormons. And so they're bigger whores than Kim Davis could ever hope to be. They also, when you listen to Jack, it's like he's speaking of the tongues. They must be attending Kim Davis's church. Matt Bevin's all for fucking Kim Davis. Basically was like, was probably going to get him some. Kim Davis is fucking all these Kentuckians all throughout Kentucky. So if Matt or Jack wanted to, I guess any of these men, Blackie or Drew, want to jump on that, that female version of Dick Cheney. I hope that that's your thing. So let's see here. Matt Bevin would. Right, I already said some things about Matt Bevin. Matt Bevin, I personally, I like Matt Bevin. Like on a personal level, he's always talked to me. He's always been nice. I like how he answers. The fucking media is lazy and obnoxious. They're a bunch of stuck up. They've been educated in these fucking universities, so they're snobbish. They act like you're nobody. A fucking reporter is nobody. They might have their paper, but if their paper doesn't like file lawsuits on their behalf or back them up, they're just a fucking guy. They're just a fucking guy out there that takes notes and they pretend like they're smart. If you're so goddamn smart, why don't you get a position of fucking power, right? So they're really just they're parasites. They have to suck on what other people are doing, and if the way they treated Gatewood, I almost feel like they killed populism in Kentucky, because it's like they need that one motherfucker that's in there that they can say, what an asshole, look at him, and I don't like that type of shit. Frankly, I mean, it takes balls to put your name out there, to put your name on the ballot. And even if, they are a joke, that's almost mean. It's almost like making fun of, like, a retarded person or a disabled or a fat person, right? You don't go up to them and like, hey, look how fat they are. Look how retarded. They don't even have any mental cognition at all. I mean, that's mean. That's shitty. And so if there is a candidate that's sort of, kind of, I don't know. I just feel like that's just a stuck-up fucking Ivy League. It's that Ivy League bullshit. It's that college-educated, well, I'm the teacher and I know everything, blah, blah, blah. And then everybody else fucking listen to that shit, and so they feel like that's how you're supposed to do it. But it's not, okay? It's not. Oh yeah, I mentioned the drug war. The war on drugs, my plan, my solution would be to legalize all the soft drugs, right? So even alcohol, I feel like, man, we need to stop being hypocrites, okay? Either we're going to fucking kick all that shit out to the curb, no fucking alcohol, or we're going to legalize some of the soft stuff. The hard things are what nobody wants any of this stuff, but by having a more tolerant approach, more of a compassionate approach, it's the only way it's going to fucking solve. It makes no sense. If you saw an alcoholic, yeah, you could throw them in jail and that could clean them up, but what if they just enjoy having a fucking beer every day of their fucking life? They're able to, go to work, take care of their family, pay their bills, but they have a beer every fucking day. I don't think you should throw them in fucking jail. I think that's stupid. So I think decriminalizing hard drugs over a 10-year period like they're doing in Portugal, so it's a combination of the Colorado and the Portugal model. Colorado, which legalized, marijuana, and then you also had the, Portugal, which decriminalized all the drugs, and so they had a huge, they were Portugal. We are Portugal right now. We have a fucking, anything, we find the next thing to get addicted to. And, no matter what you make illegal, we'll find the next thing, right? Whether it's meth, or whether it's pills, or whether it's heroin, we will find the next. You wanted to get rid of all that? Okay, well, what's the next thing? And so, I think we need to have more of a sensible approach to this. I was mentioning something about Heather Curtis. I mean, she's also, in a dual position. She'll also be the first lady and a lieutenant governor. But the lieutenant governors, I mean, they're not even going to have Heather Curtis at this. I mean, you're going to have Janine Hampton, and then you're going to have Sandy Overly. And Sandy Overly probably should do pretty decent. Janine Hampton, you cannot have picked a bigger Uncle Tom house Negro. She is basically, who was that fucking black dude that ran the Republican, the pizza man, right? she, comes out of like Detroit, and she's poor, but she pulled herself up by her bootstraps, and she got where she was going to go. And so she's like this big. It makes Matt Bevin not look fucking racist, but at the same time, every fucking thing she does, I think it hurts not just black people, but I think it hurts lots of poor folks. And I don't know. A part of me thinks, Kentuckians are too much on the teat, and that's why they're not frustrated enough. If you did cut their services off, when they cut the Social Security services off, what happened? They started killing themselves. 3 fucking suicides. And whether or not they were deserving of Social Security or not, they went ahead and reinstated it because 3 fucking suicides. So that's what happens with Kentuckians. They'll sit there and be like, well, I don't need no government welfare. But they take in government welfare. And then as soon as you cut their fucking Social Security, they're blowing their fucking brains out. And I think that is what we would expect if we cut, some of the public schools and roads and, even the food stamps and healthcare. You're going to, it's going to get worse, and we don't need that. So part of me thinks, yeah, that would kind of, get rid of the fucking weak, right? And if you can't pull yourself up out of that fucking, that's a hell of a hit. That's a hell of a hit. But, poor people ain't voting. So in a way, I feel like it's kind of, and being against Obama, being against Obama phones. Everybody got Obama phones. Everybody's on fucking, you know what I mean? Like, so many poor people in Kentucky, and if you're like, you're going to vote against your own fucking interest, fuck you. You kind of deserve it, don't you? So vote for Matt Bevin if you want, to fuck over a whole bunch of Kentuckians. And it'll be up to the corporations, or it'll be up to them being able to figure out how to make some money. So that's some of the issues we're going to be talking about. The one last thing I want to mention is Kim Davis, $80,000, $80,000. Owsley County makes $10,000. Average Owsley Countyan makes $10,000 a year. She's making 8 times that amount just to not do her job. Compared to the district judges, $120,000, $130,000. Plus, they get the fat double retirement pension, so they're getting a fucking fat ass paycheck every fucking year to fuck over people's lives day in and day out, and then they get a fat fucking retirement pension. Part of me thinks fuck the pensions. Drew Curtis is all about saving the pensions and how he actually has a plan. But it's, if we're just talking in sound bites and we're not going to fucking actually talk about the goddamn issues, then that's a fucking sad fucking conversation. It's almost a conversation I don't even want to fucking get into, because we have real problems in Kentucky and we need some real fucking solutions. And if all you're doing is buying into the sound bites because you just turned on your fucking TV for once in your life and you probably vote half the time, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what the solution is. I blame everybody. It ain't just the politicians, but it's the people. The people need to get registered and go vote, and they need to pay attention to the fucking issues so they can hold these politicians accountable or get into the system. There's so many fucking positions out there, and if we actually truly cared about one another, I think it would be easy for any group of people to get a lot of political positions. Anybody could get into, like a soil and water conservation district supervisor. Anybody can pay attention to the water and to the soil, right? And try to think of some plans, and magistrate, passing laws, city ordinances, figuring out how to spend the budget, how to do the taxes. Anybody can do these things, but that's, we're not supposed to. Just the people in power is going to keep all the fucking power, and then the have-nots continue to be the have-nots. It's kind of the story of America, right? Rich get richer, poor get poor. But I'd like to flip that around. I wanted to do something differently. So, some of y'all might not like me, but you're paying attention to what the fuck I'm saying. So, let's take a second so you can dwell in your own hypocrisy, right? And for the overwhelming outpouring of support and inquiry, I appreciate you. Thank you, I don't look above anybody, so to my brothers and sisters out there, so this is why I'm giving my 2 cents. So we will see, what is Matt Bevin, Drew Curtis, and all the rest of these fuckers going to do with mental health, poorest, fattest kid, pollution, corruption, and just, auto accidents, binge drinking, drug problems, so many fucking issues that we need to solve. So I'm excited. Let's see what these candidates actually had to say about, let's see what their solutions are to Kentucky's problems. I'm sure they're going to be real thoughtful. I'm sure we're going to get a lot of shit figured out. So here's hoping.